Let's try that again.
Yo,
There
yo.
we go. There we go. What's good?
What's good, champ? How you feeling, man?
I'm blessed. How about yourself?
I'm trying to win, trying not to sin, brother.
No doubt. This is the 100th episode of History Lessons, and I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate than with the legendary Billy Danze of M.O.P. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Very dope. Thank you, brother, for having me, and congratulations, right?
Thank
That's
you so
progress,
much.
brother. 100 episodes.
100 episodes, all from the quarantine, man. All quarantine until now. So
Yeah, that's dope. That's
thank you
dope.
so much. I don't want to
Keep
waste
pushing.
too much time. I thank you so much. I want to get into a little history lesson and then jump into your latest project. So if you could take us back to where you were born and raised.
Oh, man. Born and raised in Brownsville, Brooklyn, Saratoga Avenue, St. Mark's Avenue, right off of Saratoga. Um, you know the story,
No
the
doubt.
urban community, struggle to get by the day, do whatever you can do to make it to the next day, and try to keep your head afloat. So it's the same story all the way around the world. So
No
I'm not
doubt.
special. I'm just special.
No doubt. What was some of your earlier influences hip hop wise before you got into hip hop?
Everybody, every artist that was a part of the hip hop community at the time. And if I'm not mistaken, bro, it probably was like 10 tops. But everybody was dope. Everybody had their own style. And it was, you could play everybody's record at the party. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Right.
didn't sound the same. You knew when you got Slick Rick, you got Slick Rick. When you got Doug, you got Dougie. You got Kane, you got Kane. You got Rakim, you got G Rap, all these other guys, Chubb Rock, everybody sounded different. It was, it did something to you as a kid. If you
Right.
wanted to be a part of it, you knew you had to be sharp.
No
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying? You had to come with your own thing.
When did Billy Danze decide to pick up the patent pen? Was hip hop writing your first foray into hip hop, or were you a breaker, DJ, graffiti artist?
I did everything. Everybody thought they did something really well, right? So
Right.
if you attempted to do graffiti, in your head you did it well, but there was still somebody else doper than you. If you were a breaker, you did it well, but there was still somebody doper than you. So I kind of did it all, and I think really it was really about the music side, like being a writer before I can even write. So my sister kind of gave me. I was a baby, my mother's youngest kid, so my sister, with playing the big sister role, she gave me a name like Baby D. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we would recite other people's rhymes. It was probably like 3 records out at the time. And then from there, I just, as I grew up, did everything that every other kid did in the neighborhood, but decided that I wanted to rap. Never thought that it would take me this far or we would be having this conversation, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but once I got into writing, it was something that I liked doing. I figured out that I like to tell stories or to speak to people in a rhythm and make them go, wow. You know what I mean? So I'm
Right.
always after the wow factor, bro.
Right. No doubt. And you've
Yeah.
done it well throughout the years.
Thank you, champ.
Uh, Take me back to meeting Lil Fame.
Yo, funniest thing in the world. And I'm going to put Fame on the phone with you.
All right.
I asked him maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, how did we meet? We don't know. Where we met, we don't know. So it's been that long. You know what I'm saying? Like as far back as I can remember, he's been a part of my life. I've been a part of his life. You know what I mean?
Dope.
So
Dope.
crazy. It's crazy that we don't have an idea, but it's just kind of been that long. You know what I'm saying? We don't know.
Right.
So we're not a put together rap group for people out there that don't understand. Like
Right.
M.O.P. is when we say M.O.P. to the death or M.O.P. for life, like that's really what it is with or without the music.
Can you take us back to some of the dues you two paid to get noticed, to get on back in the day?
He said I too paid.
No, dues paid. Dues
Oh,
paid.
some dudes. Okay, off with his head. No, I mean, we had to do everything, man. We had to really actually work to get in position. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to go to shows and make no money, little to no money, to actually get on and actually show people our talent. Now, the good thing about our era of music is the A&Rs and the record company execs still had passion for good music. So you didn't need to have your numbers up on YouTube or your numbers, your followers on Twitter or IG or anything like that. If you had good music, it worked. So we had the good music, but there was still people that was doubting us. Like there's some big names out there that said M.O.P would never work. And once they see we got off the ground, a year later they sign in groups that's attempted to sound like M.O.P.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all the extensive tours, like we literally toured the country. We was on our fifth trip around the world just before COVID hit. I came
Mm.
back to the States for a break in February.
Hmm.
February 24th, we got back, and like about a week later is when everything went haywire. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? So the dues that we had to pay, not just doing records, but touring and sacrificing, is too much to talk about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But definitely a lot, though, brother.
Take me back to your demo. What labels did you shop, and what was it about Select Records that was so appealing?
Well, you know what's crazy, bro? When we did that record, the first record was How About Some Hardcore. And when we did that record, it was me featuring on Fame's record because he was
Mm.
about to start his album. I think he probably had a couple songs done, but we got that song done. When we got that song done, Silver D, and he was at Select Records at the time. He's the A&R at Select Records. Lays, who's my boy to today, still riding with him. Um, they took that record to, and the record wasn't even finished, bro. They took the record to Select Records, to Fred Mineo, and about a week later, they had already kind of put a deal together and everything. So really, I could say, we know everything happens for a reason, but that was literally on the humble, bro. I had never been in the studio a day in my life. It was the first time I ever rapped that hard, so I couldn't do the full song. My throat was killing me. You know what I'm saying? So I think I got the first verse and a piece of the second verse. Went home and listened to it about 1,000 times.
Right.
And about a week later, ladies pull up in the little beam and, yo, I got something for you. So you kind of got, they want to do a deal. Um, and then at that point is when we decided to go into the music industry as M.O.P, a rap group. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But we were already M.O.P.
Can you take me back to the reaction when How About Some Hardcore hit the streets? What do you remember most about the buzz around town?
I mean, people were going nuts, but it was my feeling that was crazy, but not the craziest. I really remember my mother going, "Where the money at?" Because you're like, she from that time of James Brown and all them, and she like, look, man, if it play on the radio, we load it. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the funny memories that I had about that time. But a couple months into that record hitting the street, like we had the biggest record in the country with that song. And I didn't realize it because I didn't know anybody in the industry like that. But all of our peers was either rooting for us or that on that friendly competition side, like, oh, wait till I put something together because it was so hot to them. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I appreciate all the energy that we got. It kept us going. You know what I mean?
In '96, you guys dropped Firing Squad. Why the label switched to Relativity at the time?
I think we needed a little bit of a bigger platform. We were actually supposed to go to Loud Den. If you listen to the record Firing Squad, I go, we eject from Select, and now our shit is bumping Loud,
Mm.
right? So we were
Right.
supposed to go to Loud, but Relativity had a better deal. They were a little easier to deal with, as far as we knew at the time. Shout out to the gentleman over there, Alan Grimblad, and my buddy Cliff, who really took care of us over there. So they gave us a little bigger deal. Crazy though, because at that time in that transition, like Jay-Z and Dame Dash would come to the studio every day, and this is when the rock was a pebble. And they would go, yo, come get down with us, get down with us. There was, I don't think Jay record had came out yet, his first record on Rockefeller, that is. There was no Beanie at the time. The world haven't heard of Beanie, Memphis Bleak, nobody. And they would always try to come over and, yo, come get down with us, come get down with us. We didn't know what we were going to go and get down with. So, of course, obviously, we went with something that was already established.
Right.
So we went to Relativity. That's how we got there.
In '98, you guys dropped First Family for Life, which featured a heavy roster, including Premier, Jay-Z, Freddie Fox, Gangstar, OC. What is your best memories of assembling that cast and some of the best memories making that album?
It's crazy though, because really, like, if you know M.O.P, with our catalog is not feature heavy. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's and not because we didn't think the guys were worthy, other our peers were worthy. It's just that we were like, you know what, we got this. We're gonna do it ourselves. You know, if anybody want to come get down, come get down. The only feature that we actually went after is OC.
Mm.
I loved OC. I loved his energy and everything. And Freddie Fox, big bro. So it's like, you know, it's whatever you want to do, big bro. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So Freddie Fox jumped on the joint. Jay-Z actually, again, at this time, he's already rolling, but he goes, we already had Four Alarm Blades out on the radio, everything. And he would come to the studio again every day. Now in another studio, another situation. And he's like, every day, yo, come on, man, open a record up for me. Let me jump on the record because he liked the record. But we had already had the record out, me, Fame, and Tef. So after a couple of weeks of it playing on the radio, we opened it up and he jumped on it. And, you know, we got the video done, and the rest is history.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You guys eventually got to Loud Records in 2000. So how did you go from Relativity to Loud finally, even though you were supposed to go to Loud earlier on?
Right. Well, excuse me, Relativity at the time, they folded. Sony had dwarfed them and pulled them into their system like they wanted to. So we went over to Loud, which was a great situation for us because Steve Rifkin had like Loud was it, bro. Like they had Wu-Tang, they had Mobb Deep, everybody you could think of, and they put them in a position so they understood our kind of music, which was great. You know what I mean? Because most of the big labels, they don't really understand our kind of music.
Right.
So to be a part of that roster was great. Now the only issue was there was so much competition in the same lane. That's the only issue. But it wasn't an issue because the fans was pure, right? Like we could quote unquote share fans, but then we still all had our own dedicated fans. A little
Right.
bit different from I think the end of that type of fan was with 50 and Ja Rule. You know, Ja Rule
Right.
was selling 6 million records at the time. Then 50 came, and then all of a sudden, Ja Rule don't sell records. It doesn't make sense to me. So
Right.
all of Ja Rule fans went directly to 50. But at that time, when we were on Loud, like everybody had their own fans, and then we still shared fans too, because it was really about the music thing.
You
You
guys
know,
dropped the monstrous single Anti Up. How did life change for M.O.P when that hit the streets?
you know what, bro? I change. I don't know. I think I bought a nicer car. I think that was kind of the only change, really.
Right.
But because we're so grounded, bro, like we don't let money influence the way that we interact with our people or how we show ourselves or present ourselves. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it really was no big change. It was a change, but we didn't see it then. Like we saw it when the tuition bills came in. You know what I'm saying? And we were able
Right.
to pay them. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And of course, the tours got bigger and the stages got bigger. So that was really the only change, like a financial change, a little more security, and that was really it. But as far as me and Fame go, like we're grounded. Like you'll catch Fame walking down Flatbush Avenue right now, just chilling. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So 'cause we're grounded dudes like that. You know what I
Were
mean?
you aware of the several movies that used the Anti Up in the movie?
You know when it happens because we have like publishing companies and people that handle business for us, and sometimes some of the information may slip through the gaps, right?
Right.
Like we may not get everything, but we get everything. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
um, people will call me even now, or even on IG. People will hit me and go and send me a link of something and be like, "I hope you're getting your bread for that." Yeah, I'm gonna get it, bro. Don't worry about it. But I appreciate people looking out for me. You know what I'm saying? So no,
Right.
I'm not always aware when it happens, but I'm aware when it's time to get them funds.
Right. Can you take me back, whether positive or negative, the craziest reaction or thing you seen when that song came on?
5 fights before the end of the first verse. Newark, New Jersey. Shout out to my people in Newark, New Jersey. Um, it was just the energy and what they took from M.O.P. because I think maybe in outside of Brooklyn, I think Newark, New Jersey is like M.O.P.'s second home. Like they really, like we're really connected with the people there. But we did a show. I forget the name of the venue or whatever, but we did a show And bro, when I tell you, soon as we got on the stage, they tore the banister down off the steps, right? They weren't trying to hurt us or nothing. It
Right.
wasn't like, "Yo, let's get it popping." It wasn't that. It was like that energy was in the room, bro. And about 5 fights broke out that night. And then we had
Crazy.
another show that same night. So we drove from Newark, New Jersey, all the way upstate New York. And here we go again. It wasn't 5 fights up there in New York, upstate New York, but we had a good time. People just
Right.
love that energy, bro. That's it.
No doubt. You guys went on to drop Marksman Cinema 2004, St. Marksman 2005, Foundation 2009, Sparta 2011, Street Certified 2014. Was it always in the cards for Billy Danze to drop a solo album?
Solo album, even though I create the records easy, bro, the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And I started I attempted to make a solo project in 2007. I got a slew of records, but before I could complete what I wanted to do, it's like, yo, we got to do an M.O.P record. All right, okay. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to it after the M.O.P record. Then, yo, we gotta do an M.O.P tour. So
Right.
it's protocol. Whatever my guys say we have to do for us, then that's what I have to do. So, so moving forward to now or 2019, it's gotten a little easier because we now have a hold on how the business work, and everything is not jumbled up, and we understand the concept of time and scheduling. So it's made it a little easy, and I'm having fun with it. And Fame supports me 100%. I think that's really what's giving me the extra drive. You know what I'm saying? To
Exactly.
know, you know what I mean? Because whatever records I put together, like he's gonna hear them first. If he says no, then of course I'm gonna have the sad face. I got to figure out how to make him happy.
Right.
I'll either redo the record or I'll scratch it. But
Right.
I need his most honest opinion, and that's one thing I ain't never got to worry about with him. He's going to give me his honest opinion. So if he don't like the record, I don't like the record. That's it. It's got to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm having fun with it, brother.
Take me back to the creative process behind your latest project, We Busy, the listening session. When did you start this project?
I started this project the middle of last year,
Okay.
and we call it the listening session because the beginning of it, when I started getting the beats from my guy Too Busy over in Switzerland, the beats just made me want to listen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I'm listening. Now the beats takes me into another phase as an artist. What I want to write something that I want you to listen to. You know what I mean? So it
Right.
worked. I really want to. I want you to feel what this beat made me feel. So that's why we call it the listening session. And of course, you get your wild M.O.P ad libs, you get your M.O.P aggression, but the wordplay and the patterns that these beats were pushing me towards or dragged me to do, I'm super happy about it, and I want people to listen to it. So, and I'm gonna beat that in people as the listening session. So if you go and find the album, it's called a listening session. This means you should listen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You mentioned producer Too Busy. How did you guys link up?
It's crazy. He contacted my assistant, just wanting to do a verse or a song, and we did a joint called Married to the Blues together. And once we did it, like it came out so dope. The feeling of it was so dope. I was like, man, this